Kurt, C-U-R-T, at LibertyRoundtable.com. That's Kurt, C-U-R-T, at LibertyRoundtable.com for your free vigor test today. Kurt, LibertyRoundtable.com, or 801-669-2211. Vigor test, free, scientifically proven today.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears without crying. Now I want to understand. I have done all that I could to see the evil and the good without hiding. You must help me if you can. Doctor, my eyes, tell me what is wrong. Was I unwise to leave them open for so long?
Open your eyes, folks. Keep them open. That's Jackson Brown. He's lamenting, right? Looking at the evil and the good. And, well, it's kind of hard to keep your eyes open. You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network. I'm Steve O'Brien, and the show is the Texas Republic Radio Show. And, well, I talk about Texas independence and, well, maybe about everything. I'm not too sure. I'm not really too focused on stuff. The world around us is a crazy place. I got an interesting show for you coming up in about a half hour. I'm going to bring on President of the Republic of Texas, John Jarnacki. John Jarnacki was elected a couple years ago, and technically speaking, he's the 8th president of the Republic of Texas. Now, technically speaking, let's just talk about that. Oh, we'll also be talking a little bit more about the Susie Kamik trial that's going on. But let's go back to the presidents of the Republic of Texas. See, the Republic of Texas came into being in 1836. Now, technically, David Burnett was the first president of the Republic of Texas, but he was an interim president, and we don't count those guys. But maybe we should. I don't know. The Republic of Texas has had many interim presidents, right, including this guy, Richard McLaren, in 1994. I think it was 1994, 1997, somewhere in there. Maybe John will talk a little bit about that. But then we get Sam Houston. Now, he was the first elected president. You know, he occupied the office a couple times. He was the first president. Mirabeau Lamar, he was the second president. Then we move on to Sam Houston again. Round 2, Sam Houston. Whoa! And then everybody's favorite president. Well, no, not really. Interesting guy, Anson Jones. You ever have a chance to look him up? Look him up on Wikipedia. They kind of spin him around, but he was an interesting character. He was the guy that actually, well, stuffed Texas into the United States of America. People are wondering how that actually happened. Maybe some people aren't, but it did happen, and it happened on Anson Jones' watch. He didn't have the power to do it, but somehow he did it. Well, it was many years because, you know, the Republic of Texas kind of went away, right? Got stuffed into the United States in 1845, 1846, I guess they technically call it. And it wasn't until Richard McLaren in the 90s actually figured out that, well, that was shenanigans, and it's time to start it over again. Well, Richard McLaren kind of went sideways, and that thing kind of failed. We have to fast forward a few years until 2007 when Larry Hughes was elected the first, well, in the second coming of the Republic of Texas. He became the, well, 8th or 5th president, if we're only talking, you know, actually elected ones. Next comes Jerry Lahr. He's the 6th president of the Republic of Texas, and we had him on the radio a little while back, and he was talking about, well, he wasn't talking about constitutions. Maybe he was talking a little bit, but he likes to talk a little bit more into natural law. He's kind of, he's interesting, and we'll talk more about him sometime. Followed by Richard Perkins. Richard Perkins was the 7th president of the Republic of Texas. And today, in a half hour, we'll be talking to John Jarnicki. He is the 8th president, and his term's almost over. I guess in United States speak, he's a lame duck president. But, according to the Constitution of the Republic of Texas, the president is pretty much a lame duck anyways the whole time. And I'm going to get John to go ahead and tell us what the role of the president in a constitutionally elected society is, because it's a lot different than a lot of the people understand it in the corporate United States. Yeah, that corporate problem. I've been trying to figure out an angle on how to actually explain this to my audience, and I know a lot of the Republic Broadcasting listeners actually understand this very well. But, my show goes off to multiple different sources, and they might not be as educated as you folks. We've heard a lot of stuff. Chris, out of Las Vegas, he said something interesting a few weeks back. He was talking about, well, you can just look at OBrien for your answers, and I'm paraphrasing his words. And so I did, and I've been listening to these guys at the Free Man Hour, right? And they're interesting, and maybe they can, step in here. I sent off an email to them asking them if they want to, talk about the Susie Kammock trial. Now, the Susie Kammock trial for, new listeners, old listeners, people that are following this train wreck, kind of goes like this. Let me see if I can sum it up. Susie Kammock gets married. Marriage goes south, right? She's married to a foreign national, a guy from Spain, blah, blah, blah. During the divorce proceedings, he goes ahead and takes out a mortgage on Susie's house, or their house, I guess, technically, unbeknownst to her. Well, she doesn't know about it for years and years, and then all of a sudden they come going, you owe money. She said, I didn't take out any loan. It doesn't matter that he forged the signature. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that the check was made out to both of them, and only he signed it and put it into his personal account. Doesn't matter. It's all just irrelevant. What is relevant to the state was the fact that they wanted her property, her land, yada, yada. We go forward, I believe that's about 9 years or something like that, and she's still battling it, and she just wants her side of the story told. Susie Kammock goes ahead and contacts Dr. David Krupa. He was a judge in the Republic of Texas. He goes ahead and, files Republic of Texas paperwork on behalf of Susie. I don't know if it's on. Yeah, I guess so. And he sends out a writ of mandamus, a quo warranto, to the judge. Basically, the writ of mandamus and the quo warranto says, show me what you got and show me your authority. And, well, that's some of the stuff I'd like to get somebody to talk to at some point. And so we keep going on and on and on. Then we get the Valentine's Day raid after that. And, so what happened when Dr. David Krupa was a judge in the Republic of Texas is they were having a common law grand jury. Now, the state might want you to believe that they were just dealing with a single issue at this common law grand jury. But there was going to be a lot of different people that had a lot of different, things that they needed heard. The U.S. statutory law, or whatever we want to call it. Yeah, I want to call it lots of things. I don't want to, I can't call it fair. It's kind of weird, but whatever. Okay, but the common law grand jury that was supposed to be going on was going to address Susie Kamek's case as well as some other, individuals, and it was going to be a big thing. But it never happened because we got the Valentine's Day raid. The raid comes in, multi-jurisdictional attack forces or police forces, however you want to call them, come in and, take everybody's stuff, and that starts this big old long rigmarole. That's still going. And, it's coming up again, folks, this Friday at 1:30 p.m. over at the Kerrville Courthouse. It's, you can find it if you want. I'll be there. I'm sure Frankie will be there, I don't know. This would be the 5th pretrial that we've been to, and it should be the last one. Well, might be the last one. You never know with this case. It's going to go on and on and on and on. Susie's attorney has been making the rounds. I've been hearing from people out in the field that, the subpoenas have been flying around and people are being summoned to go to the trial, and that, Susie's attorney is actually, she's working. I'm hearing positive things, and that's good. So we got a little bit of hope on that. But she has very little time. The actual trial comes up in October 26th, and that's going to be, it's going to be difficult, very difficult to deal with. Hey, this is cause number CR 150462. If anybody is interested in that actual number, you can actually go to Kerrville, Texas, and look it up online, and they'll let you see all the documents that exist, but they won't let you see the documents. They'll just let you see they exist. I've been having a problem, actually obtaining those documents. First it was a funding, now it's time. I've actually managed to drum up the financial part of the whole equation from a couple different folks. They made a verbal commitment to actually helping me pay for the documents. We have to go down to Kerrville and, say, hey, print these out for $1 a copy. Man, I want to get into that business. Actually, there's no way you'll ever get me into government or governmental business. I couldn't do that. It just seems weird. Anyways, Susie's case is 3 counts of simulating a legal process. Can they prove that? Well, from what I'm told, that this law that encompasses simulating a legal process was actually put together back in the 90s. Nobody's ever been tried for it before, but it was put together by the state of Texas and the Attorney General, and we're going to have to get some more, information flushed out on this, and maybe John can speak to it a little bit. He did mention this last time in passing, and it kind of, I've heard it before, John. I've heard it before, but I need to find the actual documents. Otherwise, it's hearsay. So this thing called simulating a legal process allegedly started back in the 90s when they were dealing with Richard McLaren and, McLaren's shenanigans, right? Were they shenanigans? I don't know. Well, they went ahead and put this law in place to go after the Republic of Texas back in the 90s when, Richard McLaren was pulling thousands of people all over Texas. And, there was a lot of angst, right? The government was doing a lot of bad stuff to people. And, the only way they could get recourse is to personally move around. Nowadays, people are distracted. They're distracted by the fog of the internet. You can get them pissed off about everything, or you can show them kittens. I guess that's where Jackson Brown comes in. When he's singing that song, and as we were, entering into the top of the first hour, he talks about keeping his eyes open, right, and seeing the good and the evil. We have a tendency in our society today to, see the evil and try to look away. It's hard to look at the evil as well as the good, and doctors, they're not very helpful at those kind of things. In fact, I would argue with you that doctors are detrimental to our society for the most part. I think there are good doctors out there, and I think they have good, intentions, maybe some of them. Some of them might have gone into it for the money. Suckers. Maybe they made good for themselves. Some might be in the thing to help people or whatever. Most of them are dupes, pushing pharmaceuticals and making diagnoses, right? Keeping the wheels greased. Anyways, what I was trying to get at is actually seeing the evil and the good in everything. Was there evil and good in, let's say, Richard McLaren? I don't know. I wasn't there. I've talked to some people about Richard McLaren in the past. Maybe we'll go there at another date because we've got so much that we need to deal with. Well, let's ping pong before we have to get to John because we don't have too much time before the top of the hour. Let's start with, the Texas Nationals. The Texas Nationals are actually going to be today. They're in Gonzales, Texas. If you're interested in doing the Texas National thing, and the Texas National thing is kind of like this. The Texas Nationals are working within the system, the corporate United States of America, the corporate state of Texas, to get the vote out. They have 58 days, 15 minutes, or 15 hours and 44 minutes to get 75,000 signatures. You go, guys. And that's an avenue, right? So the Texas Nationals, its president, Daniel Miller. He was an interim president for the Republic of Texas at one point. There's a lot of, talk about that, but I don't want to go there right now, and I don't really even care to go there at this moment. But the Texas Nationals are working to get Texas to leave the United States of America. They need 75,000 votes and yada, yada, yada. So they're doing these events all around Texas today. If you're in Gonzales, go to texnat.org and you'll be able to see, exactly where they're at. You can go sign up if you're a voting type of person, but I wouldn't recommend voting, man. I wouldn't. It's rigged. But hey, you do you. Texas Nationals, you go tell people Texas should be free. That's important. Not much going on in the Freedom Texas folks camp. They've got their basic first Tuesday of the month meeting in Cleburne Conference Center. Those usually pull around 50, 60 people. We'll see. They keep growing and shifting and doing stuff. They also have another couple meetings that are going on. So I think that we don't really have too much going on there. This week in my email, I received a couple emails, and I thought they were new documents, and they were documents from the Republic of Texas to the United Nations. Now, that really gets people's chains when you sit there and tell them that the Republic of Texas is looking for any kind of recourse from the United Nations. But I thought it was curious that these documents were circulating, and then I was receiving them in the email. Nancy Battle, one of our local people here, she runs an email reflector. She kind of takes things in and fires them off. She tells you her opinion, and she shares stuff that is important to her. So I get these emails from her, periodically. You can actually subscribe to her thing. Just email her, battleacre@hotmail.com. I think that's the one that she's currently using. And if not, you can just email me, fbglive@gmail.com. You can get it on the Republic Broadcasting website, my email, if you want. And I'll get you in touch with Nancy. You'll get a whole bunch of stuff. But in this thing, it was just this letter to the United Nations, telling them that the people of Texas have the right to self-determination, and that, a lot of the documents and the things that the United Nations claims that it stands for, they've been the United States has been in breach of that. So, whatever. I thought it was a third round of letters from the Republic of Texas to the United Nations, and I was wrong. And that's okay. We'll ask John Jarnicki where that stands, and I'll even open the phone lines once he gets on, maybe towards the second hour, to let you tell him how much you don't like the United Nations or whatever, and I'll tell you what, he has a similar opinion to you. And with that said, there's an interesting article up. We're in the post Agenda 21 era. It is now Agenda 2030, or they have another name for it. I'm just wondering if they're going to actually print it out this time, if they added to the 1,000 somewhat pages of Agenda 21. Are they going to call it the Sustainable Development Agenda? Agenda 2030? That's the music. We're going around the break. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. Republic of Texas Radio.
This is a public announcement. Be ready to copy down a website address at the end of this message. First off, a big thank you to people from Oregon, California, New York, Maine, Connecticut, Saskatchewan, Canada. People are logging on to landho.tv, and they are purchasing land in the United States in sunny New Mexico for as low as $350 down and $99 a month. In 1 year, you own the land. These are usable parcels in a development that can only be worth more money in the years to come. Similar lots in the same development have sold for up to $15,000. So it really is a no-brainer. Visit landho.tv to purchase yours today via PayPal. Other mainstream investments are good, but they sit in a vault. Land remains a true investment that you can use while it can increase in value. Current land prices are already going up, and this commercial could be pulled at any time, so you must act fast, because when these properties are gone, they're gone. $350 down, $99 a month. Landho.tv. LANDHO.tv. Right now.
Dr. Joel Wallach, author of the famous health lecture, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, presents his newest book, Epigenetics. Epigenetics is required reading for the very survival of Americans, and yes, all of humanity. Modern man has bet on the wrong horse to save them from disease and pestilence. The medical system has failed us fearfully. Join the health revolution. Buy Epigenetics today and receive a free membership to purchase all the products that Dr. Joel Wallach formulated at wholesale prices, and receive a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. All this for only $25 plus shipping and handling. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311. Again, that's just $25 plus shipping and handling. And you'll receive the new book, Epigenetics, a free membership, and a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
I tried to break in like I normally do right as the music started playing, but luckily for me, it was a long clip because I had my mic on mute. That was cute. You're listening to the Republic of Texas Radio. I'm your host, Steve OBrien. I'd like to turn your attention to republicbroadcasting.org. It's a great place for news and, well, what's going on in the world. The United Nations is definitely something that's going on in the world, and there's an article up there by Alex Newman. He's a correspondent for The New American. And, his article is published over at republicbroadcasting.org. And John Statmiller and whoever's managing the website over there, hey, hats off to you guys. Your content is shifting. It's good content. I'm very happy with what you're doing. Kudos, folks. Bravo. Anyways, Alex Newman went ahead and wrote this thing, and he was talking about Agenda 2030, the old Agenda 21, and what they're really talking about. And they do put this in the documents that they put forth, is that national socialism is not enough. Really, we need global socialism. And at least they call a spade because we do live in a nationalistic, socialist society. We call it the corporate United States of America. Some people think it's a republic, but they are wrong. Yeah, you know that. I know that. Maybe you don't know that. You got to get that in your head because the country is a corporation. It was incorporated in the 1800s, it was incorporated in the 1900s. But corporations were turned into people in the 1800s, and I'm just screwing this up, man. I'm going to move on. I'm going to go back to Alex Newman because that was a little rabbit trail, folks, and we're going to have to get to that one a little bit later. But, he makes a really good case for going, man, we've got to get out of the United Nations. Well, how does he close this thing? He says, ultimately withdraw the U.S. government's membership from the UN. I'm like, man, do you know the U.S. government, the government that you want to withdraw? They are. They're animals of the same stripe. They want to put laws. So I can't really back you on that because the U.S. government is a totalitarian regime, a self-eating, self-inflicting. I don't know how I'd actually put that. It hurts the people it allegedly serves, and it continues to pass laws and hurt people. That was last week we had on, I played you some clips from, the older days when I had Rick Reinerson, and we were talking about the thin blue line, a little bit of that kind of stuff. And, Rick Reinerson is dealing with the whole constitutional angle in one of his Supreme Court battles, right, to just, man, I'm not going to be able to do this justice this morning. But he was constantly being harassed by border guards, or just driving down 10 in Texas, and they'd stop him and they'd harass him, and they'd stop him, and then they'd harass him, and it just got bad, right? Because they believe that they have the right to harass people that are traveling 100 miles away from the border, but they don't want to secure the border because, another rabbit trail. Anyways, Rick Reinerson has been battling this battle for a long time. He's actually getting ready to go to the Supreme Court in October. And I was talking to him a little bit this week because, there's some stuff going on with the Peaceful Streets Project and, police accountability where Rick Reinerson stepped forward and said, no, not all police are bad. And I'm tired of you guys saying that. Well, a lot of people think all the police are bad, and, I'm with Rick on this one. I know there's some good people out there, and I'm not going to lump them all into one category. And so when we go across and, love you, Rick, and I hope that thing goes well for you. But I'm not seeing it, man. They don't follow the Constitution. You know that. Whatever. Republic of Texas Radio. I'm Steve O'Brien. Hang in there. We got John Jarnicki coming up on the other side.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Recent events have shown just how vulnerable we are to deadly viruses, bacteria, and fungus. These diseases are all caused by infectious pathogens that often get the upper hand on conventional medical treatments. Now more than ever, there's a great need for a product that will help protect us. Look no further. Supernatural Silver can provide immune system support to help fight off these deadly pathogens. Supernatural Silver is a new and vastly improved type of silver solution that's safe and extremely effective against 143 types of bacteria, both forms of viruses, mold, and yeast. Supernatural Silver can be taken orally or used topically and can be used in a nebulizer or vaporizer for inhalation. With over 180 scientific studies by independent universities, hospitals, and research institutions, Supernatural Silver is a powerful weapon against disease. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code SILVER2014 for 20% off your entire order. Give you and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
There are many water filters to choose from, but there is only one system that is consistently customer rated 5 stars as the #1 system for effective filtration of fluoride, radiation, drug residues, heavy metals, a wide range of radioisotopes, and more. Introducing the Pure Effect Ultra, the next generation water filter that also raises alkaline pH, improves antioxidant potential, and has advanced anti-radiation technology, all while using no electricity. Sold worldwide, it provides virtually instant clean water on demand. It is not made in China, and the shipping is free to all 50 states. Buy your Pure Effect Ultra today by visiting pureeffectfilters.com. or call 888-891-4821. Again, that's 888-891-4821. Or visit pureeffectfilters.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Extendovite really works. Here is what people are saying.
Heart problems were in my family, and I did notice these chest pains occasionally. I decided to try it, and I don't think I'm going to stop for quite a while. Nothing has worked as well as this product has promised to. I've taken, supplements and that sort of thing, and never really noticed a difference.
Well, I turned 60, and when I went into the doctor to get my reports, the lady at the desk, she looked at it. She says, "Wow." I says, "What's that say?" So she came back and looked at my last check. She says, "Well, you've gone down half on your cholesterol." So she says, "I guess don't do a thing, only what you're doing right now."
To get your Extendovite, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Dr. Joel Wallach, author of the famous health lecture Dead Doctors Don't Lie, presents his newest book, Epigenetics. Epigenetics is required reading for the very survival of Americans, and yes, all of humanity. Modern man has bet on the wrong horse to save them from disease and pestilence. The medical system has failed us fearfully. Join the health revolution. Buy Epigenetics today and receive a free membership to purchase all the products that Dr. Joel Wallach formulated at wholesale prices and receive a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. All this for only $25 plus shipping and handling. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311. Again, that's just $25 plus shipping and handling. And you'll receive the new book, Epigenetics, a free membership, and a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311.
Yeah, I like the idea of setting us free. You're listening to the Republic of Texas radio show. I'm your host, Steve O'Brien. I got John Jarnicki hanging in the wings, but before I actually bring him on, I'd like to qualify that and say John Jarnicki is more than the president of the Republic of Texas. He is my friend. He's one of the first people that that I met in Fredericksburg. He had a mindset that, agreed with me for the most part. I like the way that, he handled himself. And I've known him for various, it's probably like 5 years now or something like that. And he's honest. I know that. And I don't expect you guys to just take my word for it. And I don't really. You got to see a man over time to see his character. And I've gone through that process with John Jarnicki. He's honest. He's kind. He stands for what he says. And, he's a good man. And I just blew him up really huge. But it meant an awful lot to me that the Republic of Texas would honor him with the title of President of the Republic of Texas. And that's one of the reasons why I started paying attention to the Republic of Texas, because the character of the individual. Now, John Jarnicki is the serving president of the Republic of Texas. He was elected a couple years ago, and, he's done a pretty good job. I want to bring him on and find out how it's been going for him. Hey, John, are you still there?
Yes, sir, I am, and thanks for having me on this morning. Thank you and Republic Broadcasting for having Republic of Texas Radio on as part of their lineup.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting, huh? We've done a few different Texas talk shows, and, I kind of like this one. I like Republic Broadcasting. They're good folks. John, when you were running for president, did you ever think that everything was going to, play out the way it is? How does it look? Do you think it was going to be this exciting? Are we getting closer? What are your thoughts?
Well, when I ran for president, it basically the other man that had announced that he was running, I just couldn't see him ever meeting with somebody like Putin or some other world figure. I haven't either, but if the opportunity took place, I just couldn't see this guy, so I considered myself a reluctant candidate.
Yeah.
And the people, there was 3 or 4 people in the Senate that urged me to run, so I did. I had spent 8 years in the Senate myself, and I've been involved with the Republic for 18 years now. So I just, if there's anything I can do to help, I'm willing to do that. So that's how I became a candidate for president. And
okay. Hey, it's a good segue. What's the role of a president in, let's say, the Republic of Texas, constitutional president? Can you define that?
Well, somewhat, I guess. I mean, there are certain things that we can do. The president is commander-in-chief of the military, which we don't have. The president also is designated to meet with other heads of state, work out treaties and between Texas and other nations. No treaty can be passed or signed by the president alone. It has to be okayed by the Senate, and before that can be done, the president really is, when legislation goes through the House and the Senate, then it's up to the president to either sign it and pass it, or not sign it and let it come in by attrition, or veto. I have not seen anything yet that qualified as a veto, and I haven't seen anything yet that I just wanted to let go without a signature to become law that way. I have signed some legislation that was put into place, and some of them I suggested when I took office. One of them in particular that I was pretty adamant about was passing legislation to not allow a president to do any executive orders. That was changed a little bit to where it allowed the president to give an executive order under dire emergency situation, such as weather or if we were attacked by another country. And that is the only two ways that a president can do an executive order. And I pushed for that right from the get-go.
Yeah, I kind of remember that a little bit. Huh. So, okay. So when I look at the president or the office of the president of the Republic of Texas, correct me if I'm wrong, right? You know, you would be the 8th duly elected president. We don't count interim presidents, do we? And
right.
I don't.
No.
But you know all the interim presidents, right?
Well, not all of them. Some of them were a little bit before my time. McLaren actually was never a president. He gave himself another so-called office as ambassador and this and that and everything else. But he basically tried to run the show. So, but he was, even though he was not elected by the people of Texas, he basically tried to run the show and tell everybody else what to do.
Huh. I never heard that angle, you know. So he had the group called the Republic of Texas, right?
Yes.
Okay. And there was never any elections, so he was just there.
Yeah, Rich McLaren, and I never met him personally, but I knew several of the people that were involved at that same time. Most of which are now deceased, but there are still a few around. But McLaren was basically, in my opinion, was basically self-serving and got a bunch of other people to go along with it to try to get himself as exalted king, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But he was right. You know, he did see the fact that the Republic of Texas 10th Congress was, well, just in recess or just never started. Isn't that what we got from Richard McLaren besides his shenanigans?
Well, I know that Rich McLaren was fired during this Davis Mountains standoff thing. And if the powers that be, if the feds hadn't got involved, I don't believe it would have ever gone to the extent of gunfire and that. I was following it at that time somewhat, but I was not involved at that time.
Okay. And after McLaren, you know, there was a bunch of, you know, things that happened, and probably, you know, a lot of people that would claim to be interim presidents, or, you know, but you ended up starting it up again back with Larry Hughes. Tell me how that came about.
Well, we had decided to bring the Republic out of abeyance. It was a provisional government before that. There were several people involved. One was a gentleman by the name of Larry McDaniel, which I thought I liked. I knew Larry. I thought the world of him. He was a very good man, and he was kind of running a provisional as a group called the 10th Congress. We just had some difficulties putting everything together. We had joint meetings a couple different times about getting the 10th Congress and the Republic of Texas, as it was formed, that I was a part of, getting together and putting it all together to try to make it happen a little quicker.
So this provisional government you're talking about, you know, pre Larry Hughes, who was president of that group?
Well, Daniel Miller was the provisional president at that time. There was another fellow by the name of Brett Johnson, who was a provisional president also.
Are you talking about Brent Johnson, the radio broadcaster?
Yes, sir. Yeah, sure am. He was only around for about a year.
Yeah, I've actually come across some writings, a little argument between Daniel Miller and Brent Johnson talking about the Republic of Texas. It's still out there in cyberspace, folks. If you want to take a look at that, that's a bit of Texas history. If you want to know about the Republic of Texas when it was in its provisional status, you could do a search for Brent Johnson, Daniel Miller on Google or whatever search engine you want, in Republic of Texas, and you'll find a little interesting little tit for tat. I really enjoyed that. But I digress. Okay, so we move forward, and it's 2005, right? Isn't that when Larry Hughes comes in, or is it 2007? I think it's 2005.
No, actually, let's see, and I don't have my notes right in front of me on this, but yeah, in 2005, we met in, I believe it was Bryan, Texas, and came out of abeyance into the Republic of Texas government as we know it today. Larry Hughes was the only one that announced that he was interested in being the president. At that time, my wife wanted to run for president, but the Constitution had not been changed at that point yet, so she would not have been allowed to anyway.
Right. Yeah, from what I know, the Constitution of 1836 didn't allow women to be president, and it had a lot of other outdated stuff in it, and it took you guys 2 years to get some of that stuff ironed out. That's why we call the Constitution of the Republic of Texas as amended in 2007. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that was one of the first things on the agenda when we came out of abeyance, was to get those parts of the Constitution brought up to date. And there were several amendments which got rid of the not allowing women to vote or have any say in the government. Black folks, Indians, none of them could have any say-so or vote or be basically anything other than residents at that time. There were some other things that some of the oaths were changed. I'm trying to think how many amendments there was. I believe there were 7 different amendments which clarified the 1836 Constitution and brought it up into modern times. So, Larry Hughes was
colorful.
Well, let's just say he. I think that he was kind of smart in some ways, but I consider him like the jailhouse lawyer, and he was. Boy, I'm searching for a word to try to be kind, and but he wanted to micromanage and be basically an exalted king himself, I believe.
Okay, so he didn't mind stepping outside the Constitution to get things done, right?
No, that's pretty much the way it appeared, but the amendments were done during his administration, which that was good. Once an amendment is submitted, it has to go through 2 separate sessions of Congress before it can go on the ballot for the people to vote on. So,
hey, John?
Yes.
Why Texas? Why return the Republic of Texas? What's wrong with the United States of America? It's allegedly a great country too. Why did you focus on Texas?
Well, because I was part of it to a degree. I was not born in Texas. I was born in Indiana with a Texas attitude from the time I was born, I believe. What little I had read when I went through school, it just sounded like a place that I want to be. I happened to be in the trucking business at one time, and I got a load coming into Texas, and once I got here, I just had that feeling, hey, this is home. So I settled here, and this has been a little over 30 years ago.
Wow.
And so I've been here ever since, and I've certainly been involved as much as I could. I even attempted to run for the state legislature at one time in the Constitution Party, but the Constitution Party was so small I couldn't get enough signatures to get on the ballot. But I've been involved in politics in one form or another for years.
God, that's crazy.
I've always said what I thought, and if somebody doesn't like it, well, that's tough. But I'm going to say what I think.
Well, that's good. Well, I like your character. I never really thought of you as a politician or being involved in politics, but now that you frame it up, I guess you have, right? Because I know some of your past history. But you do a good job of following the rules. Yeah, I guess we got a minute to get into this, or a couple minutes, because our first break is coming up, okay. What I got is music. Hang on, folks. We'll be right back. Got John Jarnicki, President of the Republic of Texas, and we're going to ask him, what the heck, international? United Nations? My God. Republic of Texas Radio.
Your money. What is it worth today? A $100 bill in 1913 is worth only $2 today. So now your money is just about worthless, and the Fed will continue printing more and more of it. But what if you could turn it around, $1 at a time, and make your money worth more than it is now? How? By acquiring gold before your paper money is totally worthless. But how can you afford gold at today's prices? By buying it 1 gram at a time. And this is so important because gold is the future. For as little as $65, you can begin trading your almost worthless currency for something real, something you can hold. Carat bars, which keep their value, can be stored securely and are easily accessible, just like a savings account, but a savings account backed by your gold. Carat Bars International, a savings account you can count on. For more information, please click on the Carat Bars banner ad at republicbroadcasting.org. Again, that's the Carat Bars banner ad at republicbroadcasting.org. And start saving now.
Herbal Healer Spring Sale. 500 parts per million colloidal silver, all sizes. COQ10 with hawthorn, glucosamine chondroitin, sea cucumber, colloidal minerals, Superfam and Super Male Plaques, Colon Enhancer, our top-selling liquid, Cal Mag Vitamin D, MSM Sulfur Capsules, and Elderberry Power Capsules. We also offer certificate correspondence courses in natural medicine. Free memberships and free online newsletters also available at herbalhealer.com. Herbal Healer has been serving the natural medicine industry for 25 years. This is a company you can count on. Visit herbalhealer.com today. herbalhealer.com. That's herbalhealer.com.
Hi, my name is David Merlin from takefromcaesar.us. Income is defined in the tax code. All property is a cost, including labor, according to statute. You're deprived of the provisions of Section 83 whenever you pay an income tax on your compensation. According to Section 83, only the excess over the amount paid is gross income. The government can't so much as provide an interpretation of Section 83 of its own. Get your paradigm shift and understanding today at takefromcaesar.us.
Nice shooting. Hey, that's a sweet AK-47 chest rig. Is that multicam?
Yep, got it from StrikeHardGear.com.
Strike what?
StrikeHardGear.com.
Set your sights on StrikeHardGear.com. Tough, tactical gear for your Soviet-style weapon that's made in the USA. Affordable, plus a no-questions-asked 30-day money-back guarantee and lifetime replacement warranty. StrikeHardGear.com. Go ahead. Pull the trigger.
Okay. Let the music go. Because you're listening to the Republic of Texas radio show. I'm Steve O'Brien. I'm your host, and I've got the president of the Republic of Texas on, and he's the 8th president if we only count the people that are elected. And before we go international, I want to pick your brain about, the first round of the Republic of Texas ended in, what was that? 1846, I believe. And his name was Anson Jones. What do you know about Anson Jones, John Jarnicki?
Well, Anson Jones was the last, it was in 1845 when the so-called annexation treaty took place. It was not actually brought into the U.S. until 1846 when all the documents were signed and taken care of. Anson Jones was coerced, I believe, by the people that originally wanted Texas to be a part of the United States, and Sam Houston was one of the biggest ones. He was a good friend of Andrew Jackson. There was a book I read, and I believe I give it to you to read, called The Louisiana Connection, which documents all of this stuff of the backdoor dealings that were going on all the way back to Andrew Jackson to make Texas a part of the United States. And there were a lot of things that, they were going to try to do it no matter what, and, the people of Texas be damned, basically, was what it was going to happen. They needed Texas for a land route to attack Mexico, and that's why they wanted Texas. The U.S. itself even turned down annexing Texas before that period of time. I believe it was twice. And so they had to do some late night, when most people were gone, dealings in order to make that happen, to bring Texas into the U.S. We could go on for hours about the backdoor dealings and the inconsistencies which actually brought Texas into the U.S.
We're going to have to do that at some point. I'm very interested in the annexation and how that actually happened. From what I understand about the whole thing, there was 2 votes to, the general populace, and one was kind of under duress, and they... The United States was guarding the voting booths. It's like, what? Really? Foreign troops on Texas soil with guns, not letting people vote? That never happens, but maybe it did. So,
they've carried on the same way. That's what they're doing. They've always done it, and they probably always will until they get their hands slapped in such a way to make them stop. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Okay. Well, we're coming up to on the top of the hour break. We'll have to take on the United Nations stuff, and maybe we could talk about some other stuff on the other side, because that music just keeps coming. You're listening to the Republic of Texas Radio. I'm Steve O'Brien. I got John Jarnicki, President of the Republic of Texas, on the line. Hang in, folks. Top of the hour.
Liberty is not free. Its costs are innumerable. Without monetary funding, the valiant efforts of freedom-loving Americans become diminished or outright defeated. We present a solution, the Give Me Liberty Fund. The plan is quite simple. Invite individual Americans to contribute less than $1 a day. These monetary funds are used to promote Liberty media, organizations, events, candidates, movements, and speakers. In the spirit of transparency, all expenditures are published. Patriotic business owners provide discounted products and services to Give Me Liberty Fund members. Our greatest strength is in numbers. Go to GiveMeLibertyFund.com and become part of the solution today. GiveMeLibertyFund.com. Participate in the peaceful restoration of the greatest and freest country in the world.
Listening to Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
This radio show, and I'm your host, Steve O'Brien. Well, it's Sunday. Well, what are we in now? October? This is October the 4th. This year just flew by. Actually, the years are flying by, and I guess that's what happens in life. Hey, I got John Jarnicki. He's the president of the Republic of Texas. He joined me about a half hour ago, and we were talking a little bit about all sorts of stuff. And I keep telling you I'm going to be talking international stuff. And what the heck is, the Republic of Texas doing going to the United Nations? And we will get to that, I promise you, folks. But, I'm kind of fascinated by, I got time to share John Jarnicki with you guys, and he knows a lot about Texas history too. There's a lot of people that do. So John, Spain, you kept telling us that the United States of America, the Republic of the United States, wanted Texas, right, to attack Mexico, and I believe that was a land grab because, am I right when I say that Spain left Mexico and Mexico turned into a republic? Is that correct? And that encompassed, all of the West Coast, if I'm correct.
Yeah, the Mexican people rebelled against Spain and got their independence from Spain. And everything worked fine for a short period of time until Santa Anna basically declared himself a dictator over Mexico and ran it that way. I mean, it was 1824 when Mexico got their independence from Spain, and as soon as Santa Anna took over, as I say, declared himself a dictator, and then under the way he was operating, the people that were in Texas, which was called Tejas at that time, which was a state of Mexico, the people here did not like it. So that brought about the revolution for Texas to get the independence from Mexico. So, in a 12-year span of time, we had been under Spain, we'd been under Mexico, we were an independent republic, recognized in the world, and then we became in a manner of speaking, part of the United States. So we have been under several different flags since the inception, or since Spain owned Texas.
That's curious. Hey, that agreement to be ingested or gobbled up by the United States, have you ever got any clarity as to how that happened? Was that ratified by the U.S. Congress, and did that all go down correctly? Is there precedent?
No, there was nothing about it that was correct. For when the vote came in the U.S., I mean, they'd tried it before, and the people in the United States did not want Texas, which I wish they'd held the Congress' feet to the fire on that one, but they didn't. It was done after most of the Congress in the United States had gone home for, they were not in session, so they ramrodded it through. When the vote came in Texas to join the United States, the U.S. already had troops here, and we've not found any written documentation of it other than passed down hearsay that the U.S. told people that in Texas that voted upon this annexation, either you vote for it or you're not allowed to vote at all. Which was kind of curious because there was a national election in Texas a short time before that, and Anson Jones was elected president, and it was a very large turnout in voters. Now, why would you have a very large turnout in voters for a national election and have very few voters voting for something so important as annexing to the United States? The numbers don't add up. So we have been all these years trying to get together every bit of documentation that we can get when we take our case internationally, which brings up to what you're talking about as far as the UN.
There you go. Why don't you go there? Well, you're going to the Union. Are you crazy? Let's start with that. What the reason is, and I'm sure every listener on here has heard the statement, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Well, that's kind of the where we are going with this. The UN documentation and their charter states that they must help self-determined people to get their day and to break away. They helped the Baltic states back when they broke away from the USSR. So we're trying to use, it's a strategy. We are using their own rules to bring about where we want to go with getting Texas as a free and independent republic again. I do see that. And for anybody that's curious as to the communications between the Republic of Texas government and the United Nations, go to TexasRepublic.com, and you'll see right on the left-hand side of the page, you can see that letter to the United Nations. That's the second letter, and it references the first letter. But I can see your tactics in there. You're sitting there pointing towards what they call a General Assembly resolution, and one of them is 2625, and then resolution 2734, and these things were put through the United Nations in 1970. So this allegedly is their operating parameters, and you identified yourself, or, well, not you per se, the Republic of Texas identified itself as, well, in fact, an operating government, and that was actually signed by Secretary of State Billy Ford, this document, and what it says is, we are here, we're the Republic of Texas, and we're being wronged by the corporate state of the corporate United States, as well as all of its agents in the state of Texas. It's interesting, I must say, but man, the United Nations, John, you know what they're doing, all the shenanigans, they have a big agenda for the world. It's kind of scary and annoying.
Yes, they do. And that's where I get back to this, keep your enemies closer. If we can use whatever lawful means are necessary to bring this about, we're going to do it. There's no one within the Congress of the Republic of Texas, myself, or anybody else that has much love for the UN. They bring about a whole bunch of stuff that we don't want any part of. There's no reason to ever sign on or agree to that. It's just that they set the rules, and we're going to use what we can to get where we need to be. And so that's our strategy.
Where are you going right now? What's the next step in the international vector?
Well, we have other letters which are being sent or will be sent to the United Nations. Each one is progressively a little stronger about, hey, you folks made the rules. Now it is your obligation to follow them and to help us get where we need to be. And that's where it's going. We're going to hold their feet to the fire and make them do what they said that they are obligated to do.
But maybe they'll just say, I guess you got three outcomes, right? One, they acknowledge it. Two, they dismiss it. Three, they ignore you. That's, I guess, the three outcomes that we got. And, it's going to be interesting seeing where we go with this. I'm looking forward to seeing the next letter. I got to say, I'm good with going every single angle. I like the fact that we've got the Texas Nationals out there, Freedom Texas and the Republic of Texas. Texas independence is really, really, what is it, strong, interesting? It's a neat subject, John. Actually, I was listening to the commercial radio stations, last week, and they always sit there and kid. Well, Texas should be a nation. Ha, 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 ha. It's like, man, you really? But yeah, I think Texas independence is at the hearts of a lot of Texans. And, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I totally agree. There's been several surveys that have been done within Texas, and a very large number of people. The last one, I believe, was a Reuters, which showed 38% of the people in Texas wanted to go back to Texas nationhood again. There are a lot of misinformed people out there that listen to mainstream media that don't have a clue. Fortunately, I think that programs such as yours and what OBrien Network puts out will bring the awareness to more people all the time. Each and every one of us, as we get out there and we're talking to somebody that doesn't have a clue, we can ask them a couple questions and get some ideas where they're at and give them information and, hey, check it out. And, agree. And more people are coming on board all the time. And it's an educational process which we need to persevere as strongly as we possibly can. Kind of going back to the UN thing, these letters that we're sending, they are obligated to get copies of them to every member nation of the UN. Somewhere along the line, some other country will contact us. We are confident of that, and help us to get this into the international courts. That we can't go in by ourselves because we are not recognized yet, but we can go in, and I don't remember the exact term, but other nations can help us to get where we need to be. The United States has, excuse my French, but pissed off so many other nations throughout the world that we believe that we are going to get the help from other nations to help us get where we need to be. I listened to part of Putin's speech to the UN, and then after I listened to part of it, I pulled it up on the internet and printed off the transcript of it, and he pretty much laid it on the line to where the U.S. is, and some of the things that he said make me believe that Putin and Russia will assist us in this endeavor that we're going through.
Now that'll piss off a lot of people too. Just yes. Saying that the Russians are going to help. And there was an article a while back saying that Daniel Miller and the Texas Nationals and Putin and Russian, and I don't know how the hell they came up with that assumption. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, the United States has a bad rep right now. Let me shift you a little bit, I guess shift you down south of Russia. Let's talk about Spain. What's going on in Spain? You heard about Estonia?
No, it's Caledonia.
Is it? I thought it was Estonia.
No, Caledonia is the one that wants to break away from Spain. Estonia is one of the Baltic states that broke away from the USSR. It was Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania were called the Baltic states, the three that broke away from the USSR and got their independence.
Okay. So what's going on in Spain?
Caledonia is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Do you know anything about what's going on over there? Because I just heard that they made a move to, in a positive nature for independence, but it really didn't do anything.
I am aware of it. I'm not aware of the particulars of it. I know that is taking place. We have not had any contact with people in Caledonia that I know of. The Secretary of State may have, but I don't. If he has, I'm not aware of it. But hey, we want to help other countries that want their independence as much as we want others to help us.
Yeah, I'd love to, see a free United States of America, but, quite honestly, I just don't see that happening, folks. The government likes what the government likes, and it's going to fight to, maintain control and coercion. Well, I would maintain coercion. No, they openly coerce. Yeah, that's actually true. Now they're not, the corporate United States of America isn't binding itself from using propaganda and just, they used to have to do that covertly. Now they can do it overtly. So the control mechanisms coming in, I don't know where we're going, John. This is a strange year, 2016. You only got how much longer do you have as the president of the Republic of Texas?
I have got until December of 2016, and then the new president, which would have been elected in September, but takes office in December. So I've got till December of 2016 to be in this office. And then I will certainly, whoever happens to be the next president, I will certainly help in every way that I can. I will not try to micromanage anybody, whoever it happens to be, but I will offer any assistance that I can. And times are changing, and it's always been our desire to make it happen. I've been involved for 18 years. Yeah, I wanted our independence 18 years ago, but we just keep persevering, and as something comes up, we try that, go down this trail until we can find out what we can do to get where we need to be. And we're working diligently at that.
Yeah, well, I totally understand that. I look at the international angle, and I trust you. I have faith in you. I see the validity. I don't know if the United Nations follows its own rules. It seems like a rogue group, but they can prove me wrong. But then again, I can look at the Texas Nationals and their little vector on, getting everybody to vote us out of the United States and go, what the heck? Really? You think that's going to happen? The ones that I really kind of like are the Freedom Texas, the angle, which feels really good with me. That's the angle that I like, which is just telling people, look, we need to be free. Somebody needs to be free. Freeing the United States of America is a big task when a lot of the United States want this kind of mechanism coming around them. I left California specifically for that. What were you saying, John?
Well, I don't agree with much of the Texas Nationals. I think, but they are getting awareness out to people that may not have heard about a free Texas. So whatever it takes.
Okay, hang on. We got the music. Be right back, folks. We'll pick it up on the other side.
Recent events have shown just how vulnerable we are to deadly viruses, bacteria, and fungus. These diseases are all caused by infectious pathogens that often get the upper hand on conventional medical treatments. Now more than ever, there's a great need for a product that will help protect us. Look no further. Supernatural Silver can provide immune system support to help fight off these deadly pathogens. Supernatural Silver is a new and vastly improved type of silver solution that's safe and extremely effective against 143 types of bacteria, both forms of viruses, mold, and yeast. Supernatural Silver can be taken orally or used topically and can be used in a nebulizer or vaporizer for inhalation. With over 180 scientific studies by independent universities, hospitals, and research institutions, Supernatural Silver is a powerful weapon against disease. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code SILVER2014 for 20% off your entire order. Give you and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
There are many water filters to choose from, but there is only one system that is consistently customer rated 5 stars as the #1 system for effective filtration of fluoride, radiation, drug residues, heavy metals, a wide range of radioisotopes, and more. Introducing the Pure Effect Ultra, the next generation water filter that also raises alkaline pH, improves antioxidant potential, and has advanced anti-radiation technology, all while using no electricity. Sold worldwide, it provides virtually instant clean water on demand. It is not made in China, and the shipping is free to all 50 states. Buy your Pure Effect Ultra today by visiting pureeffectfilters.com. or call 888-891-4821. Again, that's 888-891-4821. Or visit pureeffectfilters.com.
Hi, my name is David Merlin from takefromcaesar.us. Income is defined in the tax code. All property is a cost, including labor, according to statute. You're deprived of the provisions of Section 83 whenever you pay an income tax on your compensation. According to Section 83, only the excess over the amount paid is gross income. The government can't so much as provide an interpretation of Section 83 of its own. Get your paradigm shift and understanding today at takefromcaesar.us.
There are many water filters to choose from, but there's only one, Pure Effect Ultra. It features advanced anti-radiation technology and is constantly rated 5 stars as the #1 system for reduction of fluoride, drug and chemtrail residues, heavy metals, and more. It raises alkaline pH, improves antioxidant potential, and provides virtually instant clean water on demand. All while using no electricity. Want to learn more? Visit PureEffectFilters.com. That's PureEffectFilters.com.
Okay, let's see if this is working. Hey, I want to thank Republic Broadcasting for actually, for handling this show, for holding this show, for taking care of all the nuances and the background stuff. And I thank them a lot. I really do appreciate it. Besides actually having a show on this network, I listen to the network. You can support the Republic of Texas. Yeah, I want you to support them too. But republicbroadcasting.org is the website. Donations are really necessary. You can also go to the store. Currently, the store only has ProPure water filters and stuff like that. And hopefully, John Statmiller will keep the energy going. And upgrade the store, or bring the store back to where it was. I know it was a lot of work, and but I like the Republic Broadcasting mugs and the T-shirts and stuff like that. Right now, they're collector's items. I was talking about Republic of Texas. Surprise! Because I talk about Texas independence an awful lot. I have John Jarnicki on the show with me at the moment, and we were talking a little bit about the other groups that are trying to achieve Texas independence. We were talking about the Texas Nationals, Daniel Miller's group over at TexNet.org. We talked a little bit about Freedom Texas. But, the one that's important is the Republic of Texas. That's at thetexasrepublic.com. It's a governmental body that reorganized itself, came out of the word abeyance, back in 2005. John Jarnicki is the 8th president of the Republic of Texas, and the next meeting is coming up, and it's going to be this place called Lake Jackson, Texas. It's going to be at the Lake Jackson Civic Center. That is at 33 Highway 332 East in Lake Jackson, Texas. Now you can go to thetexasrepublic.com to find out about that. If you're down in the Houston area, it's going to be easy for you. But for me, I look at it, as much as it makes me happy, it feels like pain. That's a long drive, isn't it, John?
Yeah, we're looking at about 4.5 hours in good traffic.
Wow. Yeah, so that's 9 hours of just driving.
Yes, sir.
How many hours have you put in just driving here and there, hither and yon, in your 18 years of Republic of Texas, quest?
I don't know. I've never kept track of it, but I would venture to guess it's probably been at least 250,000 miles.
Wow. So I'm probably talking years of driving.
Yeah. Well, I was in the trucking business for 25 years beforehand, so I've always been used to driving a lot of miles. So that's not a big deal for me. I can drive and somebody else can sleep. I keep going. Kind of like a Timex, just keep tagging.
Yeah, you're like the Energizer Bunny, right? Bung, 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 bung.
Well, I don't know about that. The older I get, the more energy comes out of this bunny.
That's funny. Well, we're having some microphone problems, so I don't know what's going on. So, folks, I do appreciate, if I start dropping out or something, I got John on the line, and I got my backup phone, Hey, I'm hearing that we're sounding okay. I'm just a little bit concerned. I was supposed to be working on my studio here at home, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to thank Republic Broadcasting. Having them, Sam is in the background taking care of a lot of stuff. It really works a lot better for me to not be running my own board and pushing my own buttons to make my sounds, and we can do you a little bit more better service. Let's see. What haven't we covered that we need to cover, John?
One thing I would like to bring up, Steve, is that all the listeners that are here in Texas and want to see Texas be an independent nation again, part of the documentation that we are putting together and have been for many, many years is documents or just an affidavit of anyone who has had a problem with the U.S. government or the state of Texas government and has caused them problems. I'm not talking about traffic tickets, but if they could write that down and send it to the Secretary of State's office, that we can add to the information.
Hey, it's the music. We'll cover this again on the other side. Hang on, folks.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
This is a public announcement. Be ready to copy down a website address at the end of this message. Here's your chance to own land in our great nation for as little as $350 down and $99 a month. At the end of a year, you own it. This is your chance to own a piece of New Mexico in the foothills of a beautiful mountain range that's a national park, yet a short drive to town, a perfect place to camp or own as an emergency retreat for your family for generations. $350 down, $99 a month. Go to landho.tv now. Similar sized parcels in the same development have sold for up to $15,000, some even more. Folks, we bought this land right and can pass the savings on to you. Purchase online via PayPal at landho.tv. Other listeners have already visited and purchased from our website, so we know there's a keen interest. Don't let this be a missed opportunity for you. Land that's yours in less than a year for an incredible $350 down and $99 a month. Inventory is getting seriously scarce, so visit our website today. Land in sunny New Mexico for $350 down and $99 a month. Landho.tv. LANDHO.tv.
Has your dancing and romancing done gone away? Are you moaning and a-groaning from the stresses of the day? Are you reeling and appealing because a headache's on the way? Well, relax for just a moment. Stress relief is on the way. Of what am I speaking, you ask? The essential oils of long historic use, the wisdom of the ages, the health care of the ancients, frankincense, myrrh, hyssop, and hundreds of others too numerous to mention. What could be more appealing? Do you know that Young Living Essential Oils has an element of life that makes them extremely effective in body rejuvenation? This element is called vibration, and it works with body systems, not against them. The professionals at Divine Living Oils have tested and been so impressed with this product that we are using them to help others. And who are we? We are health professionals with many years' experience. Trust us, we have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Our motto, because we care about you. Do your health and spirit a great favor. Call us at 304-542-4226. That's 304-542-4226. Again, that's 304-542-4226.
Whew, nice shooting. Hey, that's a sweet AK-47 chest rig. Is that multicam?
Yep, got it from StrikeHardGear.com.
Strike what?
StrikeHardGear.com.
Set your sights on StrikeHardGear.com. Tough, tactical gear for your Soviet-style weapon that's made in the USA. Affordable, plus a no-questions-asked 30-day money-back guarantee and lifetime replacement warranty. StrikeHardGear.com. Go ahead. Pull the trigger.
Come to Finca Baiano, a small community in Panama, which is being established for people who believe that a future crisis may be difficult to survive in North America after a collapse of the system. Go to bugoutpanama.com for more information. There is limited space for 100 people only. Go to bugoutpanama.com to immigrate as long as you can. Prepare. Don't despair at bugoutpanama.com.
Dr. Joel Wallach, author of the famous health lecture Dead Doctors Don't Lie, presents his newest book, Epigenetics. Epigenetics is required reading for the very survival of Americans, and yes, all of humanity. Modern man has bet on the wrong horse to save them from disease and pestilence. The medical system has failed us fearfully. Join the health revolution. Buy epigenetics today and receive a free membership to purchase all the products that Dr. Joel Wallach formulated at wholesale prices and receive a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. All this for only $25 plus shipping and handling. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311. Again, that's just $25 plus shipping and handling. And you'll receive the new book, Epigenetics, a free membership, and a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311.
Attention, Texans. Attention. Yeah, can I have your attention for a moment? You're listening to the Republic of Texas radio show. I'm your host, Steve O'Brien, and I'd like to draw your attention to, well, the things that have been, done to you by the corporate state of Texas or the United States of America. If you live in the land of Texas, the Republic of Texas wants to know about what the heck is going on with you. We're talking about affidavits, and we're talking about, things that have happened to you. Property taxes is I guess that would be a problem because you can't actually own land in Texas. So, John Jarnicki was just talking about affidavits, and, what this is used for is to show what's going on, here in the state of Texas and how these are, crimes against humanity and people. Am I kind of hitting the nail on the head there, John?
Yes, you are. It's what it amounts to is not only the property tax thing, which, by the way, has been declared unconstitutional by the state of Texas Supreme Court 3 different times, and we still get charged property tax. It's people that have had liberties usurped by the U.S. or the state of Texas in any fashion that there's been. What they're forcing to be taught in a lot of schools is not what it's supposed to be. They're bringing in, they won't allow people or kids to pray in school. God has been taken out of the schools. Any liberty that you have that has been usurped by the United States or the state of Texas, just write something up. You don't have to necessarily put your name on it unless you choose to, but get it to the Secretary of State, and it's on our website, thetexasrepublic.com, and with the address of the Secretary of State. The more documentation we have in what we're putting together, the better off we will be. The United Nations will send what they call a special rapporteur to Texas to check out all these things, which is another step in the way, in our way to bring it to the international courts. So the more things that we have, the better off we're going to be. Don't necessarily include traffic tickets, but other things which have affected the liberty of the people. And the more we got, the better off we're going to be. It's ammunition.
Right. Now, I remember hearing, you call those affidavits, is that correct?
Well, it is. It certainly doesn't have to be notarized or anything like that. Some people will choose to put their name on it and others won't. But that's immaterial. It's just putting together information as to how your liberties, speaking to all the listeners, how your liberties have been usurped by the U.S. and the state of Texas that you used to have, and that's part of the ammunition that we need.
Well, I don't know. They usurped a lot of them from me before I was even born. You know, I was raised told that I lived in a republic and this and that, and there was a constitution, but now I find that that's not true. And it's, well, shocking, and it really sucks.
Yes, it certainly does. But as long as we keep persevering, I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but in my mind, it will happen. As I say, I've been in this for 18 years, and from the first year, well, I always hoped that it would be right away, but it hasn't yet. But if we don't keep at it, nothing will happen.
That's true. That's kind of like par for life, right? If you just sit down and watch TV all day long, you ain't going to do anything except keep yourself entertained.
Correct.
Wow. Yeah, I can't see myself, doing nothing. I kind of get all antsy and so forth. So, okay. So is that it? Is that all we need to cover this week, John? Or do you got anything else on the back burner?
No, that's probably pretty much going to take care of it. Some of the things we talked about earlier in your broadcast would take several hours to go over, and we're just touching on the outskirts of some of it right now. But I'm going to say that all of us that are in the Republic of Texas government have been operating off of our own dime all these years. And so, yeah, we would like to have some donations to help move things along, as well as RBN. I've known John Stadtmiller for a good many years, and he's getting the word out. He's putting this program on, and we all need help to make things move along to get our independence and get our freedoms back. So,
oh, I hear you. Hey, John, thanks for coming on. We'll figure out some of those other angles, because we do need to talk a little bit more about how Texas left being independent and became part of the United States. I just don't know how to cover that angle yet. Put that bug in your ear, and maybe we could figure out how to make that happen.
Sounds good to me, Steve.
Well, thank you again.
You're welcome.
He mentioned John Stadtmiller, and I like to throw my 2 cents into the ring and say that John Stadtmiller doesn't necessarily endorse Texas independence. He's a good man. He allows people to come on his radio network and actually say what they, talk about stuff. He thought it was interesting. We had a short conversation before I started this show, and he says, well, I don't like the picture of Texas sitting out there with the United States all around it and Mexico down below it, and just politically, that doesn't feel comfortable to him. But he likes the idea that we're talking about Texas, and, well, I don't know. I don't know what John thinks. Maybe someday in the future I'll have a conversation with him again and see where his head is. But I think he has bigger things to deal with. Republic Broadcasting has 24-hour, programming. And, if you're listening to this on one of our other media outlets, YouTube, MyTube, ThisTube, Spreaker, whatever, go over to republicbroadcasting.org and take a listen to some of the hosts. I've enjoyed very many of them, and they have some of the best weekday programming, not to mention the weekend programming. And I didn't want to do a whole thing on Republic Broadcasting, but it just really needs to be done every once in a while. The Dr. David Krupa and Susie Kamek thing was like, I don't know. It's probably one of the biggest things that actually hit the Republic of Texas recently, just because they decided that they needed to, assemble all these law enforcement people and come into it. But it's had some secondary effects. And one of the secondary effects was, me identifying Dr. David Krupa as an interesting voice. And your voice is important out there as well. I'd like to encourage you to start talking, start calling into some of these shows if you want to call it now. If you never talked to any talk show hosts, I'll go ahead and open the phone lines for the next few minutes. 1-800-313-9443. The only way we're going to get this all turned around if we all start talking, really. And you don't have to do your own show. I know it can be a little bit, hard to deal with. And there's a lot that goes into a show like this. Dr. David Krupa has the Natural Health Hour. You can find his show on Red Nation Radio. Just go ahead and click on over there. You can find him on Spreaker, and you can find him all over the place. He's been going through the pains of growing as a broadcaster. First you may start as a caller, and then you might start as a co-host, and then you start doing your own thing, and it's quite interesting. He got his first mixer a week ago, and that's fun. If you're just a regular person and then all of a sudden you're thrown into the ring with a bunch of broadcasters, you're like, I'm having this conversation with Dr. Krupa, and he's going, man, I got this mixer. How do I use it? I'm like, well, I got to see your dials and your knobs and your switches, man. So I had to listen to his show last night, and yeah, he was over-modulating, coming in way too hot, and lucky for him, he had a chat room to yell out to. I've got this wonderful thing called Republic Broadcasting, and they're going to watch my modulation. I have to take care of myself, not to do this or that. But I really like broadcasting. We get to talk to a lot of interesting people, like, John Jarnicki. We've talked to all sorts of things. Let's see. What else do we have to deal with? It's been kind of like a slow show for me. I usually have way too much going on. I guess I don't have my head going. 1-800-313-9443 if you want to talk. Otherwise, I'll talk about the Republic of Texas and how it was formed, Okay, yeah, I'd like to go there. John Jarnicki and I were talking earlier about, Mexico. And early on in Mexico, when they got their independence, they actually formed a constitutional government. Now, this constitutional government, was written by this one individual, and he based it on the U.S. Constitution, which was a framework from another constitution, and yada, yada. They did operate as a constitutional republic until Santa Anna took control of that thing, and then he shifted it into a federalist-type government. We have a federalist government, too, in the corporate United States of America. It's where you've got one dictator, and they always point to Santa Anna as a dictator. And, I guess it fits. Is Barack Obama a dictator? I think that fits, too, a duly elected dictator. The route that this country's going, at the speed that it's going, we've been looking to, Jade Helm, right? Let's just take that for an example. Everybody's like, wow, here they go. They're practicing martial law drills and doing this, and that came, that went. We have a lot of drama that's going on, and then we're going to have some more drama that's going on. But the truth is, it's just coming in closer and closer and closer. Republic Broadcasting's website has, the website, folks, has a lot of useful information. Stadtmiller was having a problem with, traffic lights. And we're not talking about the stop and go type traffic lights. We're talking about the lights, what do we call it, that you use to actually drive. They kind of light up the street, so it makes it so you can walk around and so forth. Well, they've got new smart lights, and the government is, rolling these kind of things out. And these smart lights are wonderful for the government because that allows them to put cameras on. They can track you and track things. This kind of state, this kind of nanny state needs to be opposed. You need to oppose it. I oppose it. I do everything I can to oppose these things, even get on the horn every Sunday morning and, talk about it. I don't got the time to do a 7-day-a-week show. I don't know that I have it in me to do that kind of stuff. I can only imagine the stuff that, more seasoned broadcasters like John Statmiller and, I could name a lot of them. How do you do that? 20 years of getting in front of a microphone and talking. Maybe it just happens because, there's something wrong. There's a lot wrong. We put up these traffic lights or, street lights, I believe they're called. And these street lights are super LEDs. And then we can plug in a camera module and, plate tracking module. And then you're tracked everywhere, tracked in your house. It's good for taxation, right? You can bring the bottom line in. And if the United Nations has anything to say about it, well, it can help track your carbon footprint. They'll probably have toilet scanners at some point, fart sensors in your house and things like that. This world has gone south, folks. If you're listening to Republic Broadcasting, you know that. If you're listening somewhere else, let's say you're just cruising the YouTube thing, or perhaps you're involved with the case, the case of Susie Kamek, and you're listening. Whoa. What's that? Oh, I bet you that's John Jarnicki. We probably haven't dropped him because I know that dog bark. Anyways, lost my frame of mind. I guess I'm just trying to say, folks, you got to do something. Out here in Fredericksburg, we know that. We know that. One of the things that you need to do is, be honest, be fair, be upright, do something for freedom and liberty. I was playing that song for you from Jackson Browne. And actually, Sam, if you still have that link, I'd like to close the show with that whole song called Doctor My Eyes. And, just ping me when, we get towards the end. Because Jackson Browne I'm just driving down the road and I heard this song this week and I'm going, wow, how many songs just show you what's going on? This dude, Jackson Browne, he sung that a while back and he says to see the evil and the good, and you got to look for good people and you got to look evil people in the eye. You don't necessarily have to play with them or, be part of their life. In fact, that's one of the things that I'm trying to learn how to do. If you run your own business and you do work for yourself, you have to decide who you're going to work for and who you don't want to work for, because they can be, really sticky people. The Jackson Browne song must have also done something else. It kind of points to, what do you say? A focus, the way that America actually looks at doctors, because this singer, Jackson Browne, we'll finish that thought on the other side. Hang in there.
Extendivite really works. Here is what people are saying.
Oh, I had a problem with breathing. When I started to do some walking, I had a problem. I had a heart attack, my second one. I take this pill and I feel great.
I had 3 bypass 10 years ago, and I was in bed almost 24 hours a day, and painkillers out of this world. I started taking this. I'm down to almost no painkillers at all. And it helped my circulation 100%. my medical doctor, and I went to see him, and he could not believe it. There's no way it went down that fast. He could not believe it. I showed him what I was taking. He said, don't stop taking it. I wouldn't do without it. It's unbelievable.
To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Dr. Joel Wallach, author of the famous health lecture Dead Doctors Don't Lie, presents his newest book, Epigenetics. Epigenetics is required reading for the very survival of Americans, and yes, all of humanity. Modern man has bet on the wrong horse to save them from disease and pestilence. The medical system has failed us fearfully. Join the health revolution. Buy Epigenetics today and receive a free membership to purchase all the products that Dr. Joel Wallach formulated at wholesale prices and receive a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. All this for only $25 plus shipping and handling. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311. Again, that's just $25 plus shipping and handling. And you'll receive the new book, Epigenetics, a free membership, and a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311.
This is a public announcement. Be ready to copy down a website address at the end of this message. Friends, you've heard our commercial talking about land in New Mexico for $350 down and $99 a month, and we really appreciate your response. But land parcels are getting scarce. Current prices are already going up, and the commercial message you're hearing now could be pulled at any time, so you should act quickly. Our company acquired this development at a great price, and we're able to sell parcels to you at an unheard of $350 down and $99 a month. And at the end of only 1 year, you own it. Purchase via PayPal at landho.tv, LANDHO.tv. And this isn't a swampland deal, folks. This is your chance to own a piece of our great nation in the foothills of a beautiful mountain range. A perfect place to camp anytime or have as an emergency retreat for your family for generations to come. And at $350 down and only $99 a month, it's a no-brainer. Land as a gift or a hedge against economic disaster. Visit landho.tv, LANDHO.tv right now.
One thing I know is that here in the United States, well, maybe it's here in the 2000s, the year 2015, earlier on, I said it was 2016, and maybe I'm phasing in and out of time. Yeah, probably not. But one thing that I do know is you can't look to other people to solve the problems of the world and to make things better. You know, this guy, and then we're going to be playing a Jackson Brown song called Doctor Over My Eyes. He looks to a doctor to fix this. Man, I get it. But you can't look at politicians and ask them to change things. You got to change things yourself. I mean, sure, this fictional creature called a doctor that knows everything about what's going on may be able to point you down a route. And I'm not saying some people don't have a good idea about health, nutrition, and understand how the body works. But for the most part, I think they're overly educated, sock puppets, whatever. So there's this thing that happens to people in their life, and here's how it works. One day you see something and it causes alignment errors in your life. This thing for me was seeing Ed and Elena Brown doing a standoff out there at their town in New Hampshire, for asking the federal government to show them the law of why they owe federal income tax. And it was a very simple request, and all of a sudden they're, in an armed siege. And I'm watching this on the internet, and I'm trying to find the local media to actually, point me towards the story, and I found out there's a complete, non-coverage of the issue. They wouldn't talk about it. Now, I thought it was kind of important if the government had guns and they were shooting at this guy's house, and I think, it is interesting. Why don't they want to show the law?